Hi, this is Nikki. I'm the creator of Nicki's Homemade Craft, and today I would like to teach you how to go around to make a border, a neater border for, blankets, dishcloths, tablecloths, whatever needs a border. You know how you have on top here, it looks very, very neat, and then all around it doesn't really. So this is how I do this. So first of all, I will know what kind of stitch I did. By the way, this is the Suzette stitch, which is a single crochet, then a double crochet, and skip a stitch, and then repeat. So that tells me, the stitch already tells me how tall it is. So how tall a row is, okay? So let's say you use only single crochet. Then you know how you do in the front, the first chain is you usually do by height. Let's say you don't count it, then it's by height. So for a single crochet, it's one chain. For a half double crochet, it goes back and forth between one chain and two chains. I usually do one, especially if I don't count it. If I do count, I do two. Let's say you do a double crochet, then you do two chains right in the first part of the row, correct? So let's say you do a triple crochet, then you do three chains before you actually start doing your row. So that kind of helps you determine how many stitches you need to do. So you kind of have to look, where does my row start, where does my row end. So you can kind of look at that. So I can kind of see where my row is. So here is one row, here's one, here's one, here's one, here, and then here. Okay, so what it tells me is that I think I have about 5 rows, if I counted them right now. And since I have my tallest stitch is a double crochet and my smallest one is a single crochet, well, let's do 2 chains. Okay, so what I do is then, so let's say what I just said is the starting chain is a 2. Okay, so this is exactly how I do it too. So per row, so I'm going to just kind of show you this would be one row, okay? I would place 2 chains over, 2 stitches over there, okay? So let me show you what that means. And then just by the way, for the corners, I do always one additional one, okay? So this is where my row ends. I do a chain of 1, just because I always do it that way. It looks neater that way. And I'm going to just go around and do single crochet, okay? So I need to do for the corner, okay, this is one for the corner, and here is my second row, okay, so that's where I'm going to go into now, and I'm going to do 2 chains right there, okay, because that's about the height of it. Then over here is my next one right there, okay. See, sometimes I kind of spread it out so I can see where I am. Okay, over here is my second, or one, I'm counting backwards here. So this will be 2 right there. Over here would be also 2. Kind of per row, you know, you kind of have to look where you are, okay? And then over here would be also 2. And then I have to do 1 extra for the corner. Okay, and now I'm going to work this way. So I'm going to do 2 also. Okay, and just, that's just the bottom. I didn't go in the hump over here, so it looks a little bit more extended. Just ignore it. It's just for demonstration purposes right here. It's not supposed to be super, super pretty, at least not the middle part. Okay, and now we're back at the corner. I can kind of, I'm going to take this with me here, this yarn piece, so I kind of weave it in as I go. So I did 1 extra one for the corner. Okay, now we're going to work on the next row. I'm going to do 2 stitches again. Okay. Okay, so this is this one. Now we're going to work on this one. And then this one. So you see I'm going to eyeball it, but I'm going to look where my rows are. So when you have something like this, it's kind of hard sometimes to tell. So when you have, let me just say funky stitches, then you have a harder time seeing where you have to place your stitches. And then here, one more for the corner. Okay, and then you can slip stitch over here. And this is kind of how you do, and then you have it all the way around. Now this is just for this one specifically. I made here a little patch here just for using half double crochet, so you can see the rows a little bit better. Okay, so I do this the same way here. I'm just going to use, let's see, I'm just going to try one for right now and see how it goes. So I need to place one in the corner, and then one per row. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to stick with one per row, one for the corner, and then just work my way back. Let's see where I went. This one. Here on the bottom, it's one per stitch. Then we'll say it one extra in the corner, and then you work your way back. I did this row. Now go to the next row. Let's see, where's my next one? Over here's my next row. And then I'm gonna put this on the side now. I don't need that anymore. I can cut that. And one for the corner. So this is how I do this. So let me kind of repeat again. Oh, my yarn is kind of stuck on here. All right. So let me show you both of them again. Right here. Kind of sharpen this up. Okay, so again, what I do in this case, let me turn this around. So we ended here, and then you work your way around it. On the bottom, it can be easy if you, especially when you went in the hump and stuff, in the very first chain, the long chain. Then it can be easier to find where you need to place them. But for the side specifically, I look at how the rows are. How tall are my rows? So I used here single crochet and double crochet. So I placed 2 per row. So 2 stitches per row, okay? That way you don't have too many, or you shrink them. You know, you can, sometimes it looks kind of like you pulled on one side and then you don't, you know, it's a little shrunk on the other side. So that way you don't just place them randomly. I mean, you can, and you know, if you're lucky, you make it work. But in this case, this is how I specifically do it. I was actually asked that from one of my followers, how to do that. So this video is supposed to explain that. So I'm going to repeat myself again. So for single crochet, I would place, if it's single crochet rows, okay, I would place 1 stitch per row on the side here, okay. For half double crochet, probably also 1. It works for this one. I guess it depends on the tension that you have. Double crochet, I always do 2. Treble crochet, I also do 3, and then if you go higher, it would be 4, 5, and so forth, okay. Depending on how tall, let me say tall, or what the height of the row is, okay, and that's how many stitches you put on the side. It's very helpful to think about the turning chain. How tall is the turning chain? That can help you already. Let's say your turning chain is 2. That way you already know you should be placing 2 per row. Now, as I said, sometimes it's difficult to tell when the row ends, and the transition periods can be hard. Just try to look in which direction your stitches are going. For example, here with the Suzette stitch, you can kind of tell this one is going this way and this one is going that way. So, by the way, if you're interested in the Suzette stitch, I have a tutorial on my website also, as well as my YouTube channel. Anyways, so I hope this video was helpful on how to make a border, a very simple border. No, you know, fancy borders. You can add now a fancy border around it. Just always make sure that the corners have additional ones. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a corner in the end. Just always make at least one extra stitch in a corner. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful, and you can give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below for any questions, and I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel for any future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye!